The urge to save humanity is almost always only a false face for the urge to rule it. H.L. Mencken, John Rose. That's what's happening right now, folks. The urge to save humanity. Gotta lock you in. Can't spread this coronavirus. Don't want to have this pandemic going on. It's a false face to rule us, folks. And in this video, I'm going to take a look at two main solutions we need to work on right now. And they both have to do with grassroots movement. Many of y'all already know what I'm going to talk about because I've mentioned this many times in my videos. We have to start a grassroots movement because this has got to be a bottom-up solution, not a top-down. We see what the top are doing to us right now. They're destroying us. It's got to be a bottom-up solution, a grassroots movement. And we have to do it on two levels. One has to do with going upstream so we can get reconnected, and that's the ultimate solution. But in the meantime, we have to also start a grassroots movement downstream. Good news, that's happening today. April 21st, 2020, I watched a video today, streamed live on YouTube with Dr. Shiva, and he's starting a grassroots movement with the medical community. You guys got to get united and realize what's happening to you. You're being controlled by the AMA. Kick them out, start up something new to help organize you so you won't lose your license, which, by the way, you shouldn't have a monopoly on this industry anyway. But we have to understand how to work downstream with the conditions we have, and this is really important. We can't fool around anymore. Before you know it, we're going to have immunity passports. Everyone's going to be forced vaccinated, and that's what this is all about, folks. What's really behind this whole coronavirus pandemic is to be able to force vaccinate, mandate vaccines on all of us. And of course, that's just going to simply reinforce the germ theory of disease to begin with. Folks, if you are in allopathic medicine, you follow the germ theory of disease. That means every problem you see is a nail, if the only tool you have is a hammer. So if all you have is drugs and surgery, all you can do is cut and poison. So what happens if you get a degree in medicine? You become an allopathic doctor. You are brainwashed over and over and over and over and over. This is an infection, it's an infection, it's an infection, it's an infection, it's an infection. You've heard it so many times, you automatically assume it's true, and it's not. But if that's going to be your modality, if your belief is the germ is causing it, then that's going to be your nail. Remember, if the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem you see is a nail. If the only degree in medicine you have is that germs are causing disease, you're going to think everything's an infection, and it's not. But yet we see the infection there all the time, don't we? Well, what happens if you go to a car accident? Many times you see the skid marks there too. So this is what medicine is doing. They come to the scene of the accident and they look at all the things that are there and they assume some of the things there are causing it. And they have no idea what's causing it. So the upstream solution for the coronavirus is for each and every one of us to play our individual role by bumping up our biophotons, consuming our species-specific diet, realizing that only works in an ideal world, and we might need to modify it slightly. But we got to realize also what got us in this mess right now. Why do we have to work downstream? And why do we need to go upstream? Because when we go upstream, we do away with all those things that we're going to have to do damage control now doing downstream. Remember my special teaching tool. It's real simple, 3 stages of knowledge. Knowledge we acquire is in the first stage. Knowledge we apply is in the second. Knowledge we manifest is in the third. Thoughts, actions, reactions. Beliefs, causes, effects. Belief system, lifestyle choices, feedback system. You see what I'm saying? The things we think here in that first stage of knowledge, the things we do or have done to us in the second stage of knowledge, and then the things we get in the third stage of knowledge. Our doctors are clueless. They start off in the third stage of knowledge looking for clues, and they see the bacteria. They create tests, bogus, bad tests, so they can say, oh, this is a molecular marker, or here's an antibody, therefore the virus is there, therefore that's the cause. It's not true, folks. We have to realize the significance of going upstream. We have to understand how powerful our species-specific diet is. In fact, it's hard to make any sense out of anything on this planet unless you understand this raw food, cooked food perspective. Because when we cook our food, or whatever we're going to eat, it's no longer living. it can no longer have that sunshine energy that I'm storing in the nucleus of my cells when I'm eating food that hasn't been cooked. It's this coherent sunlight energy that every living system has in the nucleus of their cells that communicates and helps them feel one with everything. This is why we struggle. This is why we have those 10 subsequent needs, because we're sick and disconnected. That's why the grassroots movement, that's the most important, is for us to go upstream, and that's what we can do individually. But collectively, we have to get more and more doctors to realize the significance and the importance of understanding what their profession is doing. Our current medical system is the #1 impediment that's keeping us from waking up and getting out of the hell we're in. And look what it's doing right now. Look how much power it has over our lives. They can declare this bullshit pandemic and have everybody locked up, destroy our economy, destroy our whole way of life. Oh, it's never going to be the same anymore. You can't even meet in groups anymore. This is when we have to act more than ever, before it's too late. We've got to get organized. We've got to spread the message, how important it is to get reconnected. And I know how hard it is to not eat the cooked food. That's why I created the solid food vacation. It allows us to test an idea as time has come. It allows us to see what we're missing. Just drink a whole bunch of juices and watch how that changes your life. If you're concerned about colds and flus and viruses and pandemics, you, the individual, can do more for your own health and well-being than anything else on this planet. And you have a responsibility to be the best that you can be. And then not all of us can work downstream, but we have to do a lot of downstream work now more than ever. And it's got to be a grassroots movement. I'm going to put a link down below in a pinned comment and send you over to Dr. Shiva's website. He's getting people to sign a petition to fire Fauci. Today he said we only need 18,000 more signatures to get to 100,000, but I think I also saw Trump tweeting that he wants to fire him too, so I don't know how necessary that is, but we need to support the efforts of Dr. Shiva because he's trying to organize all the leaders in the medical community. You guys have a responsibility to do what you should have done a long time ago and step up to the plate, damn it. Look how important it is, and look what's happening because you haven't done your job. You haven't questioned what you've been told. A lot of you haven't, but a lot of you have. And it's up to you guys to help reach the tipping point there downstream. It's up to the whole rest of us to reach the tipping point upstream, and I guarantee you we can do all those together. Ow! We're in for a treat.